Ask anyone who repairs jewelry for a living which chain lands on their bench most often. They will all name the same one. It arrives every single week with the same injury, a sharp kink folded into the flat of the metal, and it leaves with the same verdict. There is no fix. A sharp crease leaves a memory in the metal, and nothing on a jeweler's bench erases a memory. Here's the strange part. That chain is not cheap, and it is not badly made. It fails because of its geometry, and its geometry was chosen because it is beautiful. So today, every chain type ranked by durability. 12 of them, counted down from the ones that die from a single wrong bend to the one that shrugs off 30 years of daily wear and costs less than half the chains it outlives. By the end, you will know exactly which chain fits your life, and which one should come with a warning label. 4 rules decide this entire ranking, and they outrank style, price, and brand. Rule 1 is the physics of the whole video. Chains fail where movement stops. A chain built from interlocked links can flex, so every link shares the stress. A chain built from flat plates or fitted tubes cannot flex, so a bend past its limit does not bend it, it breaks it. Picture a plain cable chain, uniform oval links threaded through each other. That is the baseline of the entire industry, solidly durable, and everything in this ranking is either tougher than that or more fragile. Rule 2. Solid beats hollow, always. A hollow chain looks identical in the case and weighs almost nothing, and one crushed link is usually the end of it, because there is not enough metal left to repair. Rule 3. Thickness multiplies strength. A 2mm chain is roughly twice as strong as a 1mm chain of the same design. Same geometry, double the survival. Rule 4. A chain is only ever as strong as its clasp, and clasps got their own videos on this channel, so today is all about the links, from the fragile to the tank. Let us count them down. Number 12, the ball chain. We start at the bottom with a chain that is not really jewelry construction at all. It is hardware. A ball chain is a row of hollow beads joined by tiny dumbbell-shaped connectors, and every single connector is a weak point. The chain does not have one place where it can fail. It has a failure point between every bead, and it lets go at whichever one gets pulled first. That is not an accident of design. Ball chain was built for light switches, zipper pulls, and military dog tags, jobs where popping apart under a hard yank is either harmless or actually the point. Which is fine, until somebody makes it in gold and hangs something on it. Repair is miserable too, because you cannot properly solder between beads. A broken ball chain usually just gets shortened. The verdict is simple. For a lightweight tag you do not care about, fine. For anything you would be sad to find on the floor, it is the weakest construction in this entire video. Number 11, the herringbone. And here it is, the chain from the beginning of this video, the celebrity of the repair bench. A herringbone is a flat ribbon of short slanted links laid side by side so the surface becomes a smooth, liquid mirror. Lying on a counter, it might be the most beautiful chain ever made. Light rolls down it like water, and that beauty comes from exactly one design decision. The links do not interlock and move, they lie flat in a sheet, which means the sheet has a limit, and past that limit it does not bend, it folds. Sleep in it once and wake up twisted. Catch it on a sweater. Let a pendant swing on it, focusing all the weight into one moving point. One sharp fold, and the crease is permanent. The plates are damaged, the surface never lies flat again, and a chain you paid hundreds for becomes scrap weight in 1 second. If you love it, and honestly, there is a lot to love, the rules are absolute. Worn alone, never with a pendant. Stored flat, never coiled. Off at night, every night. A herringbone is not a daily chain. It is an occasion chain that punishes anyone who forgets that. Number 10, the omega, the herringbone's rigid cousin, and it takes the same idea one step further. An omega is made of flat metal plates mounted on a backing, usually a mesh or wire core, so the whole chain holds a smooth curve like a collar. It does not drape, it stands. That structure is the entire look, and it is also the entire problem, because a chain that cannot move cannot absorb anything. A pendant slider rocking back and forth works the plates. A squeeze in a drawer leaves a dent that never comes out. A bend past its curve is a fold, and a fold is forever, exactly like the herringbone. Omegas live longest in one situation. Worn carefully, stored in their own box, treated like the small piece of sculpture they actually are. Treated like a chain, they die like a herringbone. Number 9, the snake chain. The third member of the liquid metal family, and the one with a genuine redeeming feature. A snake chain is built from tightly fitted curved segments that form a smooth, round, flexible tube. It flows beautifully. It feels like silk. And because the surface is continuous, it has one honest superpower. It does not tangle. You can drop a snake chain in a travel bag and it comes out ready to wear, which is more than almost anything else on this list can claim. But the segments are fitted, not interlocked, so the tube has a natural angle it can bend to and no further. Force it past that angle, in a suitcase, in a drawer, under a heavy pendant, and it kinks. And a repair on a snake is ugly work, because soldering interrupts a continuous surface, and the fix often shows. Thicker gauges survive noticeably better, and a light pendant on a thick snake is acceptable. A thin snake with a heavy pendant is a countdown. Number 8. Any hollow chain. Now we stop ranking shapes for a moment, because this one is not a style. It is a trap that wears every style on this list. A hollow chain is a tube of thin gold formed around air. Same look in the case, dramatically lighter, dramatically cheaper, and the discount is the whole sales pitch. What the tag does not say is where the money went. It went out of the walls of every link. There is so little metal that a single hard press, a crushed link in a drawer, one moment under a heavy pendant, leaves a dent, and a dent in a hollow link is a stress point that spreads. Then comes the repair conversation, and it is short. A crushed hollow link usually cannot be soldered back because there is nothing left to solder to. It gets replaced, or the chain gets replaced. Ask any bench which broken chain walks in most after herringbone, and the answer is the hollow rope. How do you spot hollow? Wait. Pick it up. A chain that looks substantial and feels like a feather is telling you the truth about itself. Then do the arithmetic from the hallmarks video, grams times, purity times, spot price, and watch how little metal you are actually being offered. If this list has already saved you from one hollow rope, subscribe, because the top half is where the workhorses live, and number 1 is the cheapest surprise in this whole ranking. Number 7, the Singapore chain. Now we cross into the survivors, starting with the most delicate of them. A Singapore chain is a twisted, diamond-cut curb, a fine spiral that glitters from every angle and moves like liquid. It looks like it belongs in the fragile family above, and here is the twist. It does not. Underneath the sparkle, the links genuinely interlock, so a Singapore flexes and recovers instead of folding. Its weakness is not geometry, it is scale. Singapore chains are almost always made thin, and thin is thin. Fine gauges snag on clothing, stretch under weight, and give up at the clasp end first. Keep it light, keep pendants small, and a Singapore will quietly outlive both of the liquid metal beauties below it. Number 6. The paperclip chain. The trend of the last few years, and a genuinely interesting case, because its weakness is not the metal, it is leverage. A paperclip chain is a run of long, elongated open links, exactly like its namesake. Every one of those long links is interlocked, which is good, but every one of them is also a lever, and a lever multiplies force. Weight pulling on the middle of a long link concentrates stress at its soldered ends, and a heavy pendant slowly pulls the elegant rectangles into sad ovals. The big open loops also catch on everything. Buttons, bag straps, car seat belts. Buy it solid, never hollow, wear it alone or with a light charm, and it is a fine fashion chain. Load it like a workhorse, and it will remind you it was named after office supplies. Number 5, the Figaro. Now the proper workhorses begin. A Figaro is a curb pattern with a rhythm, 2 or 3 short links, then one long one repeating. It is a classic for a reason. The links interlock fully, it lies flat, it takes daily wear, and any jeweler can repair it in minutes. Its only honest weakness is the thing that makes it recognizable. That long link is a small lever, exactly like the paperclip, just shorter, so a Figaro gives up a little strength against a plain curb of the same weight. In medium and heavy gauges, the difference stops mattering. In very fine gauges, the long link is where it stretches first. A solid Figaro at a sensible thickness is a decade's chain. It sits at 5 only because everything above it has no weak link at all. Number 4, the box chain. The engineer's chain. A box is a run of square, folded links that interlock into a smooth geometric column. That square construction resists twisting from every direction, holds a pendant dead center without wandering, and almost never kinks. For hanging weight off a neck, it is one of the most reliable structures ever put on the market. One caveat, and it is about scale again. At very fine gauges, the box loses its advantage, because square corners concentrate stress, and a very thin box snaps where a round link would stretch and warn you first. So the rule is simple. A box chain in a medium gauge or heavier is superb. A whisper thin box chain is a pretty way to lose a pendant. Number 3, the rope chain. The solid rope, and I say solid deliberately, because the hollow imposter already died at number 8. A rope chain is strands of small links twisted around each other in a spiral, and that spiral is the whole trick. The load is not carried by one link at a time. It is shared across the strands, which is why a solid rope carries heavy pendants that would stretch lesser chains, and why it has been the default serious pendant chain for generations. 2 honest costs. The spiral construction traps skin, oil, and grime deep between the strands, so a rope needs cleaning more often than anything else in the top 5, and it tangles enthusiastically. But structurally, a solid rope at a real thickness is a chain you hand down, not a chain you replace. Number 2, the wheat chain. the quiet champion of the entire list, and the chain almost nobody walks in and asks for, because almost nobody knows its name. A wheat, sometimes called a spiga, is 4 strands of oval links braided so they all point in one direction, like the head of a wheat stalk. The result is dense, smooth, rounded, and flexible in every direction with no flat sheet anywhere to fold. It will not kink under normal life. It carries heavy pendants alongside the rope. It slips past clothing without snagging, and it cleans easier than a rope because the braid is tighter. It is, quietly, the best all-round pendant chain in jewelry. It sits at number 2 instead of number 1 for a single reason. When it does eventually need work, the tight 4-strand braid is fiddlier on the bench than the winner, whose repair is almost embarrassingly easy. Number 1. The curb and its heavy brother, the Cuban, the tank. And the biggest anticlimax in this video, in the best possible way, because the most durable chain you can buy is the plainest chain in the case. A curb is a run of identical flat interlocked links, twisted and diamond cut so the whole chain lies flat against the body. Read that against rule 1. Every link moves. Every link shares stress. There is no sheet to fold, no tube to kink, no long lever, no backing to dent. Twist a curb and it simply rearranges itself and lies flat again. There is no geometry of failure in it at all. The Cuban link is the same idea made dense and heavy, which is exactly why it became the chain of people who never take their chains off. And then the repair economics close the case. A broken curb link is the single most routine job on a jeweler's menu. Open the link, solder, polish, somewhere between $20 and $60 at most shops, and the fix is invisible. The most beautiful chain on this list dies from one wrong bend and cannot be saved. The plainest one shrugs off decades, and when it finally does break, it costs less to fix than a tank of fuel. Durability was never about looking strong. It was about geometry, and the curb got the geometry right centuries ago. 4 quick honorable mentions, so the word every in the title is honestly earned. The Mariner, or anchor chain, a curb with a bar across each link, even more rigid, genuinely tough, big in nautical and men's styles. The Byzantine, an intricate 4-way weave that looks baroque and fragile and is actually interlocked everywhere, flexible and surprisingly strong. The Franco, a dense column of V-shaped links built specifically to carry heavy pendants, a favorite in men's jewelry for exactly that reason. And the tennis chain, which is not really a chain of links at all, but a row of stones and settings, so its durability is not about metal. It is about the weakest prong, and that is a different video on this channel. Now the repair reality, because this is where the ranking becomes money. Interlocked chains, curb, Figaro, cable, box, rope, wheat, break clean and fix clean. Open a link, solder, polish, done, and done cheaply. The liquid metal family does not get that mercy. On a herringbone or a snake, an honest bench will tell you the truth up front. We can stabilize a break. We cannot erase a crease. And hollow chains often skip the repair conversation entirely and go straight to replacement, which leads to the 3 habits that protect any chain you own. Take it off at night, because sleep is where herringbones die and thin chains stretch. Take it off at the gym, because a barbell does not care what the chain cost. And store flat chains flat, never coiled, in their own pouch. The honest note, because durability is one axis, not a verdict. A herringbone lying flat on a collarbone catches light like nothing else made of gold. And if that is the chain you love, wear the chain you love. Style is allowed to win. It just has to win with its eyes open, worn alone, stored flat, taken off at night, and never asked to carry a pendant it was never built to hold. What this ranking gives you is not permission or prohibition. It is the bill in advance. So here is the strategy in one breath. If you never take it off, solid curb or wheat. If it carries a pendant every day, box, wheat, or solid rope at a real thickness. If it is a statement worn on occasions, buy whatever makes you happy, including the fragile beauties, and treat them like the sculpture they are. Whatever you choose, buy solid, buy thickness, and put a proper clasp on it, because the chain is only as strong as the thing holding it shut. And if you are buying a serious chain secondhand, or deciding whether a broken one deserves saving, the answer is the same one this channel gives every week. Take it to a good independent jeweler. They will check the wear points and the solder joints while you watch, and an honest bench will tell you straight whether a repair is worth it, or whether you are better off with a different chain entirely. Now tell me in the comments which chain died on you. The herringbone that kinked in your sleep, the hollow rope that crushed in a drawer, the curb that has outlived 3 clasps and looks brand new. I read every one, and the broken chain stories on this channel are always better than the video. This channel takes no sponsorships and no paid placements. No brand, no retailer, and no chain maker pays to be praised or buried here, and that independence is the only reason I can tell you that the prettiest chain in the case is the one your jeweler quietly expects to see again. If straight answers like this are why you keep coming back, the join button below makes you a member and keeps these breakdowns honest. Chains fail where movement stops. Buy the one that moves. I will see you in the next one.